Hello everyone. House prices are out of control in Ireland. More and more people are unable to afford to buy a home. We have immigration at record levels, and also we have immigration putting pressure on the housing system across our country. Now in Dublin, the second-hand house prices have risen over €50,000 in the last year, with the average price now in Dublin is just short of €600,000. Absolutely extortionate for people to entertain the prospect of owning their own home, and not to mention the extortionate rental costs in Dublin as well. Now, also, what's important is that with Dublin house prices, they've increased nearly 10% in the last year. Now, nationally, house prices are up about 8%, but this is about 17 to 18% above what it was pre-crash in 2007. And already the RSI has said that house prices are overvalued by 10%. And according to some industry experts who are benefiting from the crisis, are saying that house prices will increase by up to 7% in the coming year. Now, this at the same time, the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council said there is a shortfall of housing of 268,000, and that's not including the exponential increase in population that we're coming to expect over the next couple of years because of the government policies that benefit the very rich in society. And it's also interesting because even last year, the supply targets were missed. There was supposed to be over 40,000 built last year, and the figures have come in at just over 32,500 that have been built. And most of those are for either built-to-rent apartments, and that's been the policy of the Irish state, to put built-to-rent, vulture-fund apartments, pay next to no tax, and charge extortionate rents for the privilege. Now, at the same time, they're talking about the issue, as I said, the issue of supply, and that's what they always talk about, rather than the issue of speculation in the housing market, because when you have it completely contrived, it benefits the ones that have versus the ones that don't have. Now, at the same time, house prices are going well in excess of what their listed prices are. There are reports that up to 1 in 7 are going up to 20% above what the asking price is on the websites such as Daft and myhome.ie, coincidentally owned by the Irish Times. Surprise, surprise, who benefit from the housing disaster. Now, at the same time, they're talking about the interest rates that are falling as inflation moderates. But this is madness, because at the same time, this boosts the profits of the big bankers and lands more debt on people. Now, yesterday there was a report to say there was €300,000 is now the average amount of money that's been drawn down. So again, bankers' bonuses are back, bankers' profits are back, and the ones that we bailed out are making big profits off the backs of hard-pressed people looking to entertain the prospect of having their own home. Now, also, they're looking at more demand-side measures, the Irish government. They have the buy schemes, which push prices up. There's a vacant home grant as well, which pushes prices up as well. And huge ways to make so many profits for people over the next year, and to push prices up artificially, while at the sharpest end, people are struggling to get by, and homelessness at record levels in Ireland. Now, it's also down to a lot of this quantitative easing policies of the European Central Bank, who have devalued the euro by pushing more and more money into the money supply. And essentially, over the last 15 to 20 years, the amounts have increased over 250%. And it's backed by what? It's backed by their policies, which transfer more money towards the rich time and time again. And this is what always happens, whether it's bad times or good times for ordinary people, which very rarely the good times happen. But money always gets transferred to the very top of society. And also, we've seen that from the fallout with the lockdowns, the biggest transfer wealth towards the billionaires, the war, obviously the war in Ukraine, and the profiteering by the bankers that's going on again. And as I've said, there are big issues in Ireland about moving forward in terms of the affordability over the next year. So many people are making money out of it. Estate agents are making massive profits. You see so many of them littered all around our towns and villages. And this is an unproductive asset. As I said, it doesn't produce anything. But again, it's just a frenzy of speculation. And this is what the Western economies, to a massive extent, have pushed into through the neoliberal policies, into property. And I'll show you just some madness about what's happening here. Is that it's a house up here in Harold's Cross. These houses were built for a lot of mill workers. and built for the working classes. And there's a house just up there. That's up for sale at the moment for €390,000. It's 37 square metres. So per square metre, it's about €10,500. And to put that into context, that is well in excess of Paris, which is, the average in Paris is €9,000 per square metre. We have other countries and big cities such as Amsterdam, 8,500, Milan, 5,500, Madrid, 5,000. But then Dublin, Harold's Cross, 3 miles from Dublin, 2.5 miles from Dublin city centre, you have €10,500 per square metre, about 2.5 times the size of a disabled car parking space. This is the madness. And with all the policies of the state that benefit the very rich at the expense of ordinary people who are struggling to rent, to afford to buy, and it will continue with this government policy. But a lot will happen geopolitically, I'm sure, that will cause issues in the next period of time in terms of the US change of administration, tariffs, which probably push inflation up, interest rates again will go up again. And who benefits? Who always benefits from property crashes or property bubbles? It's always the very rich, regardless of what happens, and the bankers, and facilitated by the political classes. So thanks for the support, and let's have a look at this madness here. €10,500 per square metre. Thanks for the support. Take care. Bye bye. And please press subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Thanks. Slán.